Hi, I'm Mark Hamill. I hope you enjoyed watching our mini-movie. Now, I say our because I worked behind the scenes on this project with Treehouse Animation. As the original Luke Skywalker, I think I know something about making Star Wars movies, so the fit with Treehouse made perfect sense. I'm proud to say that I'm a part of the team who helped make Revenge of the Brick. It's a lot of fun to make an animated movie. It's a wonderful journey from start to finish. Here's how we did it. Every good movie begins with a good story. In our case, we had a great start. The good people from Lego sent us a rough storyline script and a simple storyboard explaining the concept for this film. They also sent us lots and lots of toys. Of course, they required some assembly. Now, Lego told us that a 7-year-old child can put these things together in just a few minutes. Well, we didn't have any 7-year-olds, so it took us a little longer. But once we had the toys assembled and we figured out how they all worked, the animation directors went to work. We combined days of brainstorming with days of storyboarding to work out the specifics of every single shot in the film. For our 5-minute movie, we created hundreds and hundreds of storyboard frames. Now that's an awful lot of drawing. Of course, to really understand what a movie will look like, you have to see it move. The way we do that is to make something called an animatic. This is a kind of quick and dirty version of the movie using the storyboard frames. It's just good enough to give you an idea of how long the different scenes will last and how well they'll join together. We did a lot of experimentation during this part of the process. From there, we started making the characters, spaceships, and sets we'd need for our film. These artists are faced with the task of creating three-dimensional models of every character, vehicle, prop, and environment that will appear in the film. We also need a distinctive look. Since our subject matter is a Star Wars film, extra special attention was paid to how things looked. The challenge became how to make the Lego toys look dirty, dented, battle-worn, and fit well in a mini Star Wars world. Each vehicle, prop, and background element is digitally hand-painted to reach a perfect balance between the real Lego toy and its cinematic Star Wars version. So now we have a story. We have a look. It's time to make this movie move. That happens in the animation stage called pre-visualization, or more commonly, pre-viz. This is kind of the halfway point between our animatic and the final movie. Our computer-generated actors, sets, and props are brought together for some preliminary camera angles and motion. The film is in a flexible state, so this is the stage where endless amounts of experimentation with action and storyline can be done. Here are some examples of scenes that didn't make the final cut. We initially toyed with the idea of having Yoda arrive in a pod-like spacecraft that crash lands on the planet Kashyyyk. We had to design the pod, figure out how a Lego version would work, and how Yoda would fit inside. Also, for a while, we considered having Yoda and General Grievous meet for an exciting lightsaber battle. This experimentation phase is where we hone our film down to size, making final decision on what stays in and what gets left out. Once those decisions are made, it's time to do the final animation. The crude movements blocked out in the pre-viz stage are now directed and animated in glorious detail, with all the style, texture, and mannerisms that really bring our characters to life. Quite a change, isn't it? After the final animation is complete, it's time to add the special effects. Here's the trench run without effects. Now, add the tracking markers and an explosion or two, and you get the final result. In computer animation, it can be very difficult to simulate natural dynamic effects. Here's the sequence where Chewbacca is nearly run over by a droid tank. As the tank is knocked off balance, it goes into a sliding motion towards the camera. Here we need the ground to look like it's being pushed out of the way by the bulk of the crashing tank. Here it is with no dynamic effect. Now add the underlayer ground effect and dust, and finally add the patches of grass and soil that would be churned up by the sliding tank. Once the animation and visual effects are locked down, the sound team steps in. Here they arrange the sound effects and music to sync with the film. Now our film has a lot of stuff blowing up, and what good is a lot of stuff blowing up if you can't hear it all? Walkers need footsteps, Wookiees need to grunt, and of course, there are the lightsabers. And all of that sounds a lot better when you add a little of this. That's all the job of the music composers. With the final animation done, these guys get to work composing original music to the picture. The music really helps develop the mood of the film by changing from exciting to dangerous to comedic. And there you have it. Thanks for joining us on our little behind-the-scenes look at the making of Revenge of the Brick. I hope you had as much fun watching it as we did making it.